Joaquin El Chapo Guzman hid from U.S. and Mexican authorities while living in mountain hideaways, where he entertained a bevy of female guests and snoozed until noon every day, his former live-in secretary testified. Let's take a look inside El Chapo's extravagant safe houses. Number 3. A secret passageway under the bathtub. El Chapo's safe house in the Sinaloa capital of Culiacan is located across from a school with a neighbor on only one side and has been unoccupied since his 2014 escape. At 2,800 square feet, the home is estimated at $138,000. Currently serving a life sentence in the United States for kidnapping, drug trafficking, and murder, Joaquin Guzman is best known as El Chapo, the former leader of Mexico's Sinaloa cartel. While he languishes behind bars, the Mexican government has raffled off a former safe house that El Chapo escaped in 2014. The El Chapo house once contained a secret ladder and passageway that could be accessed from below the bathtub. El Chapo used this trapdoor to flee Mexican soldiers who had him surrounded in 2014. It led to a network of tunnels he had constructed below the property. The house in Culiacan, where the Sinaloa cartel is based, has since sat empty. It previously failed to sell at auction for $130,000. The Mexican government currently estimates its value at $183,000. At a modest 2,800 square feet, the home was one of 20 properties impounded by the state and raffled off for Mexico's Independence Day lottery on September 15th. While the winner remains anonymous as ticket holder number 1,438,619, all proceeds will go to Mexico's 2020 Olympic and Paralympic athletes. Remarkably, nobody in the quiet neighborhood of Libertad or Freedom had a clue that they were living amongst the drug lord. We never knew anything. We never knew who lived there. We never saw anyone, a neighbor said. Located across the street from a school and blocked off by a fence, the Culiacan house was built next to a storm drain. This was undoubtedly the most appealing amenity to El Chapo, who has been aptly nicknamed Lord of the Tunnels due to his penchant for subterranean escapes. On February 17, 2014, Mexican Marines swarmed the neighborhood and searched all 5 houses suspected of belonging to El Chapo. By the time they entered the residence in question with a battering ram, the kingpin had already fled down a ladder in his bathtub and into the storm drain connected to 6 other properties nearby. The home itself is entirely unassuming, with low ceilings and metal bars on the windows. It didn't denote a lavish lifestyle. The listing says it has 2 bedrooms, a living room, dining room, garage, and front garden. Ultimately, El Chapo only managed to fool the federal authorities for 5 days after evading capture. He was arrested a mere 125 miles south while staying in the coastal home of his wife, Emma Coronel, with their twin daughters in Mazatlan. But El Chapo's Culiacan house wasn't the first nor last place he would flee from, as he broke out of 2 Mexican prisons in 2001 and 2015. Incarcerated in Altiplano Federal Prison, El Chapo escaped through a tunnel in July 2015. It had been secretly dug from a cinder block house on an empty plot of land purchased while he was in prison and connected to a shower stall in the facility, with a motorcycle waiting below for him to ride to freedom. Ultimately, however, El Chapo would be captured one final time in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, 6 months later and extradited to the United States. By the time he was convicted and given a life sentence in July 2019, the Mexican government had already tried and failed to sell his Culiacan residence, removing the cameras and covering the escape tunnel with a concrete slab. The state aimed to turn past traumas into present opportunities. As part of the Institute to Return Stolen Goods to the People, or INDEP, the government repainted the interior and exterior, tiled up the bathroom, and offered it as a prize in the lottery. This raffle is very important, Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said before the lottery. I call on all the people, those who can help buying a ticket, or 2 or 3. Lottery tickets cost $12, and in the week leading up to the drawing, ticket vendor Jorge Lopez was stunned to be selling between 100 and 120 tickets per day. He also said that people largely didn't care who owned these homes before, and the Culiacan residents hadn't even been of primary interest to most. Among the flashier residents and properties included in the lottery were a seaside apartment in Acapulco, beachfront land, a house in an upscale Mexico City neighborhood with a pool, and even a private box in the country's famous Aztec Stadium. Mexico's national lottery has never raffled off property before and has served as a traditional system of cash prizes, much like the counterpart in the United States. For Culiacan local Ignacio Marcio, the fact that these homes are being offered to everyday people is a net positive. Those houses didn't serve anyone, he said. Those people had them. I see it as perfectly fine. It's to help people in need. Number 2. The safe house where the Navy caught up with El Chapo. The drug lord is back in a maximum security prison after 6 months on the run. His dramatic recapture began with a shootout in a safe house and ended in a love motel. In the early hours of January 8, 2016, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman found himself under siege from the Mexican Navy in an operation that left 5 dead. He was holed up in a safe house in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, surrounded by bodyguards when the raid commenced. Guzman, known for his penchant for tunnels, escaped out a secret doorway behind a mirror in a ground-floor dressing room into the city's drainage system. El Chapo was caught hours later after resurfacing, hijacking a car, and attempting to flee the city. The drug lord was detained by security forces and taken to a love hotel while the officers waited for backup. El Chapo Guzman was hiding at 1002 Jiquilpan Boulevard in the affluent Las Palmas neighborhood of Los Mochis. The mother of the current governor of Sinaloa lives in the same area. There is still blood on the floor inside the house where one of Guzman's bodyguards was killed. Food packages and Coca-Cola cans are littered throughout the kitchen. Blankets and sleeping bags lie on the floor. A wall is riddled with bullets after the intense shootout between the Mexican Navy and El Chapo Guzman's bodyguards. The size of the hole suggests the shootout involved .50 caliber weapons and standard assault rifles. A DVD set of the telenovela La Reina del Sur lies neatly ordered on a bed upstairs. The show stars Mexican actress Kate Del Castillo, who is reported to have been in talks with El Chapo to film a movie about his life and who brokered an interview with him by Sean Penn. The Mexican authorities have been accused in the past of planting objects at crime scenes. This mirror in a ground floor dressing room hides the route Chapo took to escape the shootout. A staircase behind the mirror leads to a tunnel connected to the city's storm drains and sewer system. The passage is constructed in a similar way to the one El Chapo used to escape another Navy operation to capture him in 2014 in the city of Culiacan. Chapo Guzman has become famous for his use of tunnels to escape from prison and to smuggle drugs across the border into the United States. The Do, a drive-in luxury love motel, is located in an industrial area about 4 miles from the safe house on the outskirts of Los Mochis. Chapo Guzman was taken here after his arrest by federal police while they awaited reinforcements. In the hours following his arrest, curious citizens stopped outside the motel to take photographs. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman sits handcuffed on the edge of the bed in the Do Motel after his detention. His undershirt appears to be still dirty after his traversing of the city's sewer system. Number 1. For a $12.50 raffle ticket, the keys to drug lord El Chapo's seized safe house in Mexico awaits. Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was naked and asleep with his mistress, Lucero Sanchez, when Mexican Marines battered down his front door in 2014, according to Vice's reportage of Sanchez's witness testimony. Without time to put on clothes, the lovers ran to the bathroom and plugged in a cord, causing hydraulics to lift up an unassuming bathtub. Concealed below was a web of secret tunnels leading to other hideouts through the town's sewage system. With little time to spare, Guzman and his lover escaped, eventually caught for the last time in 2014. Guzman is serving a life sentence in Colorado. Now the two-bedroom house in northwestern Mexico could be yours for the cost of a lottery ticket. The Mexican government is raffling off the site of Guzman's dramatic escape, along with 7 other houses, 7 apartments, 5 lots, a ranch, and a 20-seat viewing box at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City. The prizes, confiscated assets from various criminal operations and now owned by the government, are valued at a total of $12.5 million. Do share with us in the comments what are your thoughts about him. Please subscribe to The Luxury World. Thanks for watching.